Mr. Brandon Cutler.
Hey,
Next to him, the Spanish God. Be mad at him, Sammy Guevara. And next to him, definitely first in my heart, ladies and gentlemen, Tay Conti. We're going to open this up for questions for you guys in just a minute. I'm just going to use a little bit of my power.
See how that
I've
goes.
always wanted to talk to them, ask them some wrestling questions. So please indulge me. All right. First up for the three of you. We got a little indie show coming up in Las Vegas called Double or Nothing.
Just a little indie show.
a little small shot.
Yeah, I think what the is it that AT&T Center or where is it? The T-Mobile Center?
T-Mobile.
Something like that. It's something small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
T-Mobile even still in business.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But how excited are the three of you for next week?
I'm jazzed up. I can't wait to have an easy travel day. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah. Let me tell
You
you.
two got to fly with Brandon. You
Yeah.
got to drive.
Oh yeah.
Oh, fly.
I can't wait.
I miss Jacksonville days.
Enjoy that coast to coast travel, guys. I'm
Not fun.
gonna drink those tears.
Not fun, let me tell you.
All right, and just to touch up on that a little bit more. Now that we've had 2 or 3 Double or Nothings so far.
I think 3.
3.
Yeah,
3.
2019, 2020, 2021.
Mhm.
Each of you have a favorite moment from one of these Double or Nothings, even if it's not your own.
I jumble a lot of the pay-per-views up, so I can't recall what's happened at a Double or Nothing or an All Out or. Yeah, I get a lot of it
that's kind
jumbled.
hard.
So my answer, I'm just right off the top of my head of one that I know is a Double or Nothing one is when I walked out. I was the first person to walk out on a AEW show on the first Double or Nothing.
2019.
AA 2019. That's where I'm like, hey, I know that's for a fact a Double or Nothing. I think that year the Bucks wrestled the Lucha Bros. Of course, I remember that as well, just because not only the Bucks but my wife made them the Elvis gear. And this year, being in Vegas again, they might have something similar.
Okay.
Tony Bennett gear it is.
I don't know who that
It's
is.
not that famous Vegas singer.
I don't know people. I'm sorry. I'm a hermit.
Probably last year, closing out the show with the Inner Circle,
That's right.
Stadium Stampede.
There you go.
The year prior, lost for the Inner Circle. 1 year later, and get the win for the team. Definitely, probably my favorite.
Dang, yeah. So Stadium Stampede was a Double or Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Hell
See, I
yeah.
just jumble them all.
Yeah.
I know it's Stadium Stampede, but I'm in my mind, that was that pay-per-view. That was the main thing of that pay-per-view.
But the 2021, the first Stadium Stampede was probably another one of my favorites, just because you were there.
Oh, yeah.
You know how long we were all there
Yeah,
filming the
I
thing.
filmed a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff of that one, which I'm holding on to that footage to one day ever be a documentary or something of you see the what was Jordan's thing with the
last call.
last dance,
Last
last game,
dance,
the last call.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, something like that, where an episode of some kind of a documentary series where I'm the Stadium Stampede that first year can be its own episode with how much I shot and how much
Damn.
it took and how long
Started
it went.
raining, pouring rain.
We were there
halfway
until I want to say 4 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
The day we were shooting it. Yeah, that was a wild night that day. Yeah.
Ty, what about you? You got a favorite Double or Nothing moment?
The next one when I kick Paige Van Zandt's ass. So
Damn.
yeah,
I'm
I'm
looking
excited
forward to
for
that
it.
one.
Coming up.
So,
So I want to talk about my favorite thing to talk about with wrestlers is the danger.
finances.
Finances.
Oh, sorry.
How little we know about finance.
The danger spots that on TV when me and my loved ones are watching and we see you guys do things and we're just like, how are they not dead? Ty, I want to
Yeah.
start with you. A couple of, recently you had a tag team street fight with a little spot on a table that did not look like it went well.
I think it looked great.
I mean, no, it looked great, but I don't think it went as planned. Am I right?
Which spot you're talking about?
He's talking about the pile driver or the moonsault?
He's talking about the
Moonsault.
moonsault.
Yes.
Penelope's moonsault.
Yeah.
It hurts, let me tell you.
Oh,
What was going through your
Did
head
not
when
feel
that
good.
happened?
It's like I just hope I'm alive.
Just a crush.
That's it. I just hope I'm alive. It was fun, but for sure it hurts.
It was a fantastic match.
Yeah.
And if I had my own star system, it would be 5 stars.
Hell yeah, thank you.
But Sammy, what was your most oh crap I might die moment?
He's had to have had a few,
All
right?
of
Oh,
You
yeah.
probably have 3 or 4, I know. But one that sticks out on top of your head.
I don't know about I'm gonna die, just more like, oh shit, that hurt. Probably the most recent one was the ladder match with Scorp. Yeah, the Phoenix 630. I got one clap.
Oh yeah, we've had so many.
Yeah, no, I mean the golf cart definitely sucked.
Yeah, you had a lot of burns and scratches from hitting the road.
Yeah.
Not like the golf cart; it's from the ricochet of hitting that and hitting the road after.
The super kick from Matt Jackson in the
That's right. You
battle
folded
royale.
like a napkin.
Yeah.
My leg completely went sideways, and I felt it pop, and I was like, "Oh, I think I just broke my leg."
Yeah, you
The
got a lot.
Spanish fly for that.
Spanish fight with Isaiah, yeah. The one table just
on
kicks
the
back, and I'm like, "Oh, I think I just broke my hand."
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about that cutter on Cody off the ladder?
So that one in midair, as I'm here, I'm like, "Whoa, it worked!" Like, I jumped really high, and then as we're coming down, I'm like, "Oh, bad idea."
Yeah, loss of wind immediately, right?
Mhm. Oh yeah.
Kicks all the
Brandon, what
lungs.
about you? You got a moment of danger?
The only
Other than
one.
getting sprayed in the face.
Right, that's always so scary. Probably for me, when I got my face broken, was just not like oh crap, like what went wrong of like, oh man, I hope this isn't gonna be like, like too much blood, because I thought he just knocked me to where I'd be having like a bloody nose, and I remember thinking like, damn, that freaking hurt, like my face hurts, my eye hurts, but maybe it'll just like have some blood, it'll be good for TV. And then when I get to the back, I go and blow my nose to get the blood out, and I feel this eye push forward as I blow my nose. Yeah, you can feel your eyeball move forward, and immediately Doc's all, "Oh, you have a broken orbital bone." I was all, "Huh? No." I was like, "It doesn't even hurt." I was like, "It doesn't hurt at all, honestly." And so like I'd keep doing it. He's all, "Well, we'll get X-rays tomorrow and see." We get X-rays, 3 breaks in my nose and 1 in the orbital bone. And I'm like, that didn't even hurt though. Like I've had other things hurt way more. Like a stiff forearm hurts sometimes more. But that was just one of those moments where in my head I was just like, yeah, like it kind of hurt, but keep going, whatever. I didn't even realize I had 4 broken areas in my face.
What's it like to wrestle in that Undertaker type face mask?
You got no peripheral vision, so I can't see anything on like outside. I got to just kind of look forward and be doing like a Batman turn. But other than that, it's not that bad. It actually does protect me a lot of times.
Okay, so I want to jump a little bit and kind of go back to the beginning for the 3 of you. I want to know who was the most instrumental in getting you to AEW. Ty, I want to start with you.
I would say Kenny was the one that contacted me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, and it's crazy because I was such a Kenny fan. Always watch his matches because I'm more like this Japanese style. So I freaked out when I saw the message. Imagine Kenny Omega texting me to go do that. My God, I'm going crazy. Yeah, I got so excited. But yeah, I would say it was him.
Okay, and I mean Kenny Omega has to go through the work of getting your number and reaching out to you.
Yeah, it was like I was after WWE when I got released and stuff. I was like, I don't know what I want to do. And then after like a couple weeks, I'm like, oh, I want to go back, to wrestling. And then I started posting a lot of like videos on Twitter, moments and stuff. And people were tagging him. And that's how he saw it. I was like, hey, yeah, I want to talk. And then that's how it started.
That's awesome. Sammy, who would you say is most instrumental in getting you to AEW?
2 people, Cody and Jericho. Cody, I wrestled him once on the Indies, and I flipped him off at a charity show. And for whatever reason,
He's hung on to that.
yeah, he's told that story everywhere.
Yeah.
And then Chris, for whatever reason, he's watching NWA 70 a couple months before AEW officially launched. And he saw me wrestle in a 4-way match, and then I guess he texted the little group chat they had and was like, "Who's this Sammy Guevara kid? We need to bring him in." So luckily I didn't phone it in that day,
Yeah, there you go.
And I love, I think it was the BTA episode where you did the argument with Cody where he told you that, and then the line from you at the end was like, Jericho knows who I am.
He knew who I was. I don't
Yeah.
know what Cody was really talking about that whole video. Maybe I should watch it back. Was he nice?
No, you were
Back
not
when
nice.
back when you were doing I didn't see it, but I heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brandon, what about you?
It's pretty obvious. I think everyone knows who I got in from. Nepotism
Vince
is a thing.
McMahon,
No, yeah, you got me into AEW.
Yeah.
The Young Bucks, of course, they were very instrumental in getting me. Yeah, pretty much. I was filming BTE with them before AEW was ever a thing, and just our like chemistry of being friends forever. They were just like, man, it'd be nice to just have you on the road with us to film BTE. So they would go to like AAA and stuff, and they would just fly me to go do it, just to be like, oh yeah, we'll just fly you just so you can film BTE for us, so we don't got to do it anymore. And then when AEW was becoming a thing, they're like, we could continue this. We could just keep this going. You could just come on the road with us and film BT. And then I was wrestling the year prior to that. I got back into wrestling. And they're like, we could give you a contract for both, a wrestler and to help us be a producer and do some stuff. And that brings up another memory of producing some of the segments for the first Double or Nothing that I actually shot and like directed and like they aired on it. But it's like stuff like that just gets like backlogged of like, oh yeah, I forgot I did any of that. But
for you, it's just a Tuesday now. Right?
Yeah, it's just so much and so often. Like I said, I just jumble everything. So like, oh yeah, that's right, I did. I actually shot, directed, filmed the whole thing that ended up on one of our pay-per-views.
So that BTE where they handed you the contracts, were you genuinely surprised, or was that?
Yeah, definitely, because at that time they weren't signing everyone yet. They were trying to lock down a lot of the top names that they're like, don't go anywhere. We're gonna start this company. We gotta get you guys all under contract before you end up signing somewhere else. Because there was a couple of guys that would sign thinking like, I don't know what this is. I'm not gonna sign there. So they're trying to lock everyone down. And at that time I was like, that makes sense. Get the big stars. I'm loyal to the Bucks. I'm obviously not gonna go anywhere. They don't need to give me a contract at this time. They could give me like how they've been paying me every time I like work for them, like just single shots. So that meant a lot. That Matt was like, no, we want to get you on the books before we announced. This was before they announced they had the TNT deal, because they're like, once we announce that, then it's legitimate, and you'll see everyone come out of the woodwork to get a job, and it's going to be hard. You might get lost in the shuffle or something once we're hiring a lot of people. And so that meant a lot to me, that Matt was like, no, we want to make sure we get you in now before it becomes a circus.
I love that story, and I love that BTE episode. It's such a great moment.
Yeah.
So for you guys, I want to ask something about one of the trends lately in wrestling, and I want to know your thoughts, is a lot of...
be mad at us?
Oh, no. That's the trend. That's the trend. Yeah. Is a lot of wrestlers nowadays are using either their real names or variations of their real names. Now, for the three of you on there, is that something that was still... because Sammy, you do use your real name. Mm-hmm. So after, coming up and watching wrestling, guys like Hulk Hogan, Bruce Brody, those kind of names.
Wait, his name's not Hulk?
I think it's...
Still in the dark on that one?
Yeah, it's Hulkian or something like that. But yeah, so what was the idea for you to use, like, I'm going to use my real name and I'm not going to come up with something?
So my first wrestling name was Zero, because I'm ahead of number one. That was what I would say. But then Facebook wouldn't let me have Zero as a name. And so I'm like, okay, well, no one's going to be able to find me if I can't say what my wrestling name is. So then I'm like, well, I need a name. All right, I'm not creative. Sammy Guevara. Just my real name. Screw it. And then I thought, okay, if I get signed or whatever, they're probably going to change my name anyway. So Sammy Guevara probably won't be the name I use in 10 years. Here I am.
That's nice.
Hopefully it's going to be another 10 years of Sammy Guevara.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ty, what about you? What was the idea to use, because your real name is Tay Nara?
Yeah. And I used my real name in WWE for like 2 years. For me, it was always like, what's going to happen after my career here? I don't want people to like look at me and then be like, oh, I don't remember her name and stuff. So having my real name and being able to use my real name like for my own personal business afterwards was always like what I had in mind. I want to like put my name out there with my real name, and then I can keep that. Nobody can tell me like, hey, you can't use your real name, Yeah. So that was my main thing. And then when I left WWE, I was like, I don't want to, be too different. Mm-hmm. So I just shortened up my name. It was like, oh, let's do Ty.
You made a good choice.
Yeah, thank you.
Brandon, what are your thoughts on wrestlers' real names versus stage names?
Mine, it's a hybrid, as my real last name is different. It came from, essentially, like the long term was Matt and Jeff Hardy that used their real names. So then the Young Bucks would use their real first names, but they had a different last name that was given to them, and they just rolled with it to be Matt Nick Jackson. So me and my brother, we were tagging at that time, where we were going to become a tag team. And so I was like, why don't we just do the brother thing? We were Brandon and Dustin, and I was like, we could just change our last name because our last name's Bogle, and I'm like, that's not like that doesn't stick or
the badass Bogle,
right? Yeah, or like people always confuse it with like Boggle or something, so it's a little like confusing. So let's just get like a quick catchier name for our last name. And so at the time we were gonna do like a bodybuilding like type of like gimmick where we'd come out with like resistance bands and stuff. And so I was like, why don't we get the guy that's Mr. Olympia, Jay Cutler? Why don't we steal his last name? Because I've always liked it. Every time I've seen him or something, we'd go to like those Mr. Olympia shows. I was like, Cutler's like a badass name. I was like, it has like a cool ring to it and stuff. So I was, let's just steal his name. We're like, we're gonna do bodybuilding type looking gimmicks and stuff. Let's just be Brandon Dustin Cutler. And he was like, I don't know. Let's look at other bodybuilders and maybe not get the top guy. No, let's not steal the number one that's been Mr. Olympia for like 4 years or something. And so I was like, yeah, right. And I was like, yeah, but who cares? Nobody's going to really notice, or there'll just be, it's a coincidence or something. So I finally convinced them, let's do Cutler, because it just sounds like, nice and short and crisp and stuff. And so that's just kind of where we came up with it. I just kept it ever since.
Cool. So guys, we're going to get to your questions in just a minute. I just want to take one more with these guys. So I've always wondered, growing up, there was no AEW for any of you when you were first watching wrestling or becoming wrestling fans. Now that we have it and it's a viable option, was there a moment in AEW for each of you where you looked at it and said, like, okay, this is legit, this is what I want now, I don't even care if I ever make it to WWE? Sammy, we can start with you.
Moment?
I mean, there's the first Double or Nothing when Mox came out at the very end. I remember I was standing backstage and seeing that moment because I didn't even know he was there. They kayfabed it from everybody. And so then Jericho just beat Kenny, and then here comes Mox, and I just remember like the atmosphere of it is like, holy shit, this is something real. Like, this is going to be huge. I knew already before, like, they contacted me to be a part of AEW that it was going to be big just by the names that were behind it, and with Tony Khan backing it all and everybody's vision for AEW, I was like, this thing's going to be huge. I need to be a part of it somehow. Lucky enough, they contacted me, but that was probably the first moment, that Double or Nothing, where I was like, here we fucking go,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Ty, so you come in a little bit later on, having come from the WWE system. What was a moment for you that you were like, this is where I need to be?
So I feel like I was so unhappy before that the moment that I went there and I had a meeting with Tony and then Cody, that was the moment that, like, the backstage moment it was so different from what I was used to have, that I was like, damn, I want to be here. I want to be part of this. It's completely different. Like, so there was not a moment in the ring, but for me, it was more like a backstage thing that I felt comfortable. I felt like I can be me here. I don't need to be, like, worried about, hey, I can say hi to this person. I cannot look at this person, a different way. It's just like I can be me, and that's what I need. I was not like a fan of wrestling before I got into wrestling. So for me, it's a little bit different. So for me, it was more about, like, let me be myself, and I just want to do my job and be happy and have fun. So, and I can do that in AEW.
That's awesome. Brandon, What about you? What was the moment where you realized that
trying to trace back, and the earliest I can kind of think is probably like the earliest like one that I can like pinpoint of like, okay, we're off and running now, is the afterward of the first episode of Dynamite. That's where you guys formed and like jumped the Bucks and stuff. Yeah, the Inner Circle. I recorded, I remember the 4 minutes or something of everyone getting to the back and just talking about how it went and stuff. And like, I'll kind of go all back and like watch that, and it's like, yeah, we caught lightning in a bottle right there of like, it was our first live Dynamite. Like, we can't like tape it or record it or do anything. We got a jam-packed arena. We got everyone like there, and it's like, okay, now's the time to show you can run a weekly show that's live. And then when we hit it home run and like finish the show strong and stuff, and we go off air at the right time. Yeah. We timed everything correctly too, because we're all coming from, we're not used to the TV world. We're all from like indies and just doing, maybe even small TV things, but it's like to do a live national broadcast like that and to kill it on the first one, it's like, maybe that's probably that first moment where it's like, Yeah, I think we're a legitimate company now.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, who has a question for my panelists here? You in the back. Oh, you.
This is for all y'all. If royalties and copyrights didn't matter, what entrance music would you choose? For your
Oh man, that's fun.
Damn.
I would definitely go with Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars.
So you asked me what song, if royalties were not an issue.
Royalties didn't matter. No strings
That one
attached.
song.
I just want to take a survey.
I don't know that
Who
many,
here
but-
likes Mox coming out to Wild Thing? Okay, that's about 50-50.
I mean, in the audience, it works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll give you that, but he's come out to way better music at indie shows. Sorry, Sammy?
I used to have this song called I Am Jesus by this fake band called Infinite Sorrow from Get 'Em to the Greek. So I'd probably come out to that.
You came out in PWG to that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Ty, what song would you want to come out to if royalties are not an issue?
I'm not sure, but there's one that like everyone tags me because I think it sounds like my name. I think the name is Take On Me, and everybody's always like Take On Me. It's like that would be a cool one.
There you
I'll
go.
talk to Tony.
That's a classic ska song.
That's essentially like if you just go to a PWG show, that's your answer. Is all wrestlers come out to what they would want to come out to on those. Yeah, like the Young Bucks used to come out to Umbop by Hanson. Yeah.
All right, anybody, sir?
Yeah, for Ty. I think you fought. I think it was when you debuted against Britt Baker for the title. You had the face paint. What inspired the face paint? Because it looked like an MMA fighter.
It is. Chrissy Borg, she's a Brazilian. Yeah, and she had just face paint before. So I remember when I saw it, she always come out with like cool face paints. And then I saw it and I was like, oh, I want to recreate it. Do a little bit different, but like recreate it. I text her before. I was like, hey, keep an eye open and stuff. So she saw it. She really liked it. So she inspired me a lot.
That's awesome. And I always kind of wondered, you have a background in martial arts, right?
I do.
What exactly is your background in martial arts?
I'm a black belt in judo, and I'm a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. So that's how WWE found me in Brazil. I was an athlete since I was 7 years old, and then I was doing the tryouts for the Olympic Games in 2016 in Rio, Brazil. So I lost, and then they were looking for girls there, for Brazilian girls. That's when I lost. They were like, oh, she's gonna, that's the perfect opportunity. So they came and they're like, hey, do you want to do a tryout and stuff? At first I said no because I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
So that's how everything started for me in wrestling. But I was like an athlete in judo.
What was the hardest part about that transition from martial arts to wrestling for you?
I feel like when I did the tryout, I had no idea what I was doing in. Like, no idea, literally. I had zero English. Like, I was lost. I was like, oh, this is a competition, and I will win. Because my mind was like, I just like to win, and I want to win. And I was like, what I'm winning here is the contract. So I'm going to get this contract no matter what. And that was my mindset. Then I got signed and stuff. When I moved to US, and then I would say I just realized what I was doing after like a year and a half, maybe. Yeah.
So, any more questions from, kid, right there?
If you had a dream match, what would it be and why?
Dream match, what would it be with who and why? Brandon, I know you have several dream matches.
Yeah, I was just thinking of like, well, which character? I got the D&D one that I'd want to do a bunch of the dragons. I'd want to do like maybe me and Bryan Danielson against Red Dragon, just to have all the dragons in the
That'd
ring.
be cool.
And then like as this comedy guy, as the Stooge, I would love to do Orange Cassidy. I'd love to do Colt Cabana, Chuck Taylor, Danhausen. Like, there's a lot that I'd want to do with those. Yeah.
I mean, it'd be great to have like if you could, a Stooge Battle Royal.
All right. Yeah. All of us managers, Mark Sterling and.
Sammy, what about you? Who's the dream match left? Because you've had a lot of them so far.
One that I'd like to do is RVD, just because
Really?
growing up that was the guy,
Did you used to go places?
Oh hell yeah! Do you remember my backyard name? No. We were watching some like old backyard stuff, and I would go Sam Van Dam. That was my name, SVD.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'd love to kick his ass one of these days.
Ty, who's still a dream match for you?
This is not gonna happen ever, but I would love to wrestle Shibata. I'm such a fan of like Japanese style.
Yeah.
So, and I would say Asuka too.
Oh, that would
Yeah.
be one I would definitely put down my credit card and put.
Yeah.
So, on that subject, I do want to ask you guys, who do you feel is currently the most underrated in AEW right now? And it's hard because I know you guys get to feature, or you guys try to put so many people into that spotlight,
Yeah.
but there's not enough of it to go around.
I would say Pac.
Really?
Yeah. He's
Damn.
I would say him and Phoenix are probably the best wrestlers I've ever seen in this lifetime. And so Phoenix gets a lot of love, but then Pac is like that underrated, where it's like he should be getting as much or more than, probably as much as Phoenix. And just that he doesn't, so that means he's underrated in my eyes.
You feel like there's anything holding that back from Pac being featured more?
I wouldn't know. It's so complicated. Very, very loaded question there.
Okay. That'll be for a different podcast.
Yeah.
Sammy, who do you feel is currently the most underrated?
Depends which Sammy you're talking to, because right now I think it's me. You know.
The guy who's had
I had some
multiple-time
TNT,
TNT champion.
but the disrespect I get.
He deserves better.
Thank you.
Wow. Okay.
He
Like,
should beat Hangman.
I think so. Yeah. Hangman, Punk, they can get it. I won all the belts. You know, I held the TNT title, and people are gonna go and disrespect me, saying that I was one of the worst TNT champs, right? Saying that I destroyed the belt. But what did I do every single week? I tried to have 5-star matches on the weekly, destroying my body, and people are gonna go and disrespect me. Why? Because of my relationship? Fuck everybody.
We're talking about the general everybody, not everybody in this room.
No, I think he meant just this room and not.
Well, if y'all
outside
clap,
the room.
you're cool.
So, if you could take Punk, okay, let's start with Punk. If you could take Punk on in any kind of match you would want, what would it be?
Buried alive match.
Buried alive.
Buried alive match.
That's gonna be a fun
Yeah.
one. What
We haven't done one of those yet.
Yeah.
Man,
about-
we've
what
done
about
everything.
Hangman. A match where there's a horse hanging above the ring.
That's not.
I don't understand really the rules of that, but that's really what I'd want.
You know, if we can have a Judy Bagwell on a pole
It's
match
a-
in wrestling, then
It's a pinata horse, right? Not a real.
It's a real horse.
it's a tiny horse.
Okay.
You know, just to give them some wiggle room here.
And then like you gotta go up, and then you gotta unhook it, and the horse is gonna drop 20 feet.
It's just as,
No, it's a
Our
real
recording
horse.
of this panel is now canceled. No. I really love the idea of you taking on Punk and Hangman, because as you used to come out and do the best ever Sammy Guevara.
Yeah.
I think it's time to keep pushing on that.
Let's go.
Right on.
After we go and beat up this ATT story, which I think everybody loves. And then once you finally beat Van Zant's ass, then let's move
If
on.
she shows up.
If she shows up, it's time for me to get the world title and her to get the world title.
Let's go.
That'd be good. We do need the first AEW power couple.
Let's go.
Ty, what about you? Who's a dream match for you?
Dream match? In AEW? I want to kick Thunder Rosa's ass, because she's my best friend.
I'm so sorry. We just talked about
Yeah.
that. But who's the most underrated in your eyes right now?
I can't say anything else, like, after what he said. I gotta agree
Now, are
with
you
my
saying
man.
that because you feel that way, or because you know?
Because I feel like that.
Okay.
oh.
Oh, that's such a feel-good moment. I love it. Okay, and now I'm gonna throw out one. If you could have a match with Serena Deeb,
Oof.
now what kind of a match would you want? Because that's such a clash of styles.
I worked with Serena before in WWE. She was not my coach, but she was a coach there. And then, of course, like, it's Serena. Every opportunity I had that was like, hey, can we talk? Can you help me with this? Even today, it's like, hey, can we watch this together? Can you help me out? She's such, like, an amazing athlete. It's like, it's amazing to work with her. I feel like any type of match against Serena is a win for me. You know, I will always learn a lot from her, and she's an amazing person. So like, I'm looking forward to wrestle her again. My match against her was one of my favorites in AEW. So I hope we can do that more times. Imagine a street fight, single street fight, Serena and I. We're gonna kill it.
I mean, you've already been proven that you are a street fighter.
Hell yeah.
All right. Anybody else have any questions, sir?
Oh yes, this is for Sammy. The live match you had with Cody, which was like awesome. That cutter that you did you guys like practice that, or was that just like the one time you did that? Because that was just like a picture.
One and done.
Cutter, and I'll put it on top of there, like because it reminded me when Edge speared Jeff Hardy off the ladder in WrestleMania 17. I'll put it up there because that was just like phenomenal. Like, that was an awesome spot.
So yeah, that's a lot of people were comparing it to that, and like Jeff's one of my favorite wrestlers growing up. So to be compared to that moment is definitely, I appreciate that, you know. And then to the other people who want to go and live in the past, because there's a lot of other people on the opposite side, like, oh, how are you gonna go and compare this moment to that moment? In 10 years, 15 years, they're gonna go and quote everything I'm saying. They're gonna go and show my moments, and they're gonna then appreciate me when I'm long gone from this business. So thank you, people who appreciate me while I'm here.
That's good. All right. One more thing too. I see we have these really beautiful mixed. What are they called exactly?
These are the AAA Mixed World Tag Team Championships held by Sammy the Spanish Guy Guevara and the beautiful Brazilian badass, the Brazilian goddess, Tay Conti.
So, all right, once the ATT story's done, as a mixed tag team, who would you want to take on?
I want to wrestle Johnny Gargano and Kenzie.
Nice.
Wow.
Bring
That's a
them.
good
Let's
ball.
do it.
That's good.
I'm 100% for it.
All right, we've got a question on this side, or?
Yeah, this kid's got a
This kid had
question.
Yes.
Yeah.
This one's for Sammy. What was your favorite moment with the inner circle?
I was going to try to be funny, and my first one was going to be like, when it ended. But no, I mean, there's so many. Like, there's the time when we were like spraying them with the bubbly. That I really like that one.
That's right.
And then probably the first Stadium Stampede, or the street fight I had with Chris. There's been too many, and who the fuck?
Whoa, party foul.
Yeah, no, I it's unfortunate that the Inner Circle broke up, but that is a group that will always hold a very special place in my heart.
Okay, that's awesome. Now, as if you could put your own inner circle together, who would you want?
Definitely Ty.
First answer, good one.
Yeah, I was already.
I was sweating. I don't know. I really wouldn't want nobody else.
Oh.
So you'd be the one-man inner circle.
That's right.
All right. And in your original inner circle days, who came up to you and said, "We're gonna have you sing Judas tonight"? And what did you think?
So Chris texted me and is like, "Hey, you need to learn the lyrics. Next week you're gonna sing it." And I'm like, because he just did it at Revolution at that point, right?
Yeah.
Like the choir or something like that. So he's like, "We're gonna do kind of a parody of it with you singing it." I'm like, "Okay." And he's like, "You need to learn the lyrics though." And I'm like, "Okay." So I'm studying the lyrics. And then there we are live on TV. First they said I wasn't gonna have a mic. Then as I'm singing, they passed me a mic. And as you can tell, I still haven't learned the lyrics. But yeah, I think it turned out better that I don't know them.
I mean, were you a singer before you?
So I was in choir,
Okay.
but I'm more like mouth the words.
Okay. All right. I have just a couple more questions. I'll take one from you, and then I'll take you.
For Brandon, how did you come up with like the way that you sell when you spray? Because I think that's like the funniest thing.
Oh, I love it.
You laugh for like 5 minutes straight. It's like, why'd you come up with that?
In all honesty, my vision of when I'm out there is I just try and act like Jim Carrey. That's exactly what I'm going for every time I'm out there. Yeah.
So just real quick on that, who came up with the whole like Brandon Cutler spray?
Being like a stooge, that was all Matt, because in Japan they would have young boys that after matches would come and spray them down with the cold spray. And so they were like, we want to be so like arrogant, like cocky people that we have our own young boy, kind of a thing. And so they're like, I can't remember if he was pitching it to me or like just an idea and I jumped on it. I think he was probably saying like, yeah, it'd be fun if you did it, because then you could also be recording it for BTE and stuff. And so I was like, all right, I'll try it, like, because I love comedy stuff, clearly. And so I was like, all right, I'll give it a whirl. It sounds like fun. And so we started it where they used to have their streamers, and it was, oh, okay, I'll just be the guy that has to collect those, and we'll get it on camera. That it's like, oh, look, they've made Brandon Cutler their lackey now, and he's their. They don't want to use the word young boy, I think, because they're afraid that might have like,
too much of a...
yeah, you could kind of like take that wrong and stuff. So that's where they came up with like, oh, let's just use stooge or whatever. I was all right, because I was even saying we can use goon, like in all the Batman movies and all that. Their villains have their goons and stuff. So I was, I'll just be their goon. And then I think the commentary team just stuck with stooge. So I was like, all right, I got stuck with that then.
I mean, I would think because stooge is a more term that the wrestling...
Wrestling more, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
So, okay, let's... Sir?
Sammy, how far in advance did you know you were going to be the opening match of Dynamite? And after that, I was hooked on that show.
It was either Fight for the Fallen or around All Out. Nick came up and he told me, and he was like, Cody's pitching for you to be the first match with him. And I'm like, yeah, okay, Nick. Like, there's no way. And then when they announced it, it was kind of like when I really found out. Because even like Cody, like you never know when people are messing around, like joking, or if they're being for real. So like Cody told me too, he's like, it's going to be you and me, night one at Dynamite. I'm like, is Cody being for real here? Is he? I don't know. So when they announced it, where I was like, oh shit, here we go. Here we go.
Now, I just want to ask you real quick, because you said that you watched him and you were just hooked on it. Were you still a continuous wrestling fan, or were you like a lapsed wrestling fan?
I've always watched wrestling, but
okay.
I mean, before AEW, I didn't know who Sammy was, and then as soon as I saw it, I was like, man, put the remote down, what's going on here?
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's the way to do it. You guys are coming to LA as AEW, Dynamite and Rampage.
That's right.
For the very first time. What can we expect?
What can we expect?
From the Cali native.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a blast. I mean, every honestly entertainment thing I've been to in Cali, like we always show up. Like I went to a Monster Jam rally at the Anaheim Stadium, and they sold out 44,000 people there. I'm like, if Cali just shows up everywhere we go, like we love entertainment, so I'm like, it's gonna be a blast. Cali's always a great interactive crowd, so I can't wait.
Hell yeah.
And Sammy, this is the Forum, the home of the champion Lakers. I mean, can we expect that you're going to win another TNT title, or the...
Well, I think everybody online is clamoring for it. They want me to hold the title again. I think that's what they're saying. So,
just as long as you don't hit 24/7 title territory.
Look, how am I going to be a 16-time TNT champion unless I lose it 15 times? I got to lose it a bunch. But yeah, if either of us are on the card, it's going to be a show. So expect the unexpected.
Ty, how excited are you about LA wrestling at the Forum?
I was living in LA for a little bit. Didn't really like it, to be honest.
I don't
Just kidding. But I'm excited. Like, I told him before we're coming here, every time we have like a meet and greet or signing, whatever, like in LA and like Cali in general, it's like always fun. Everybody shows up, the line's like crazy, so I'm really excited. It's gonna be a great show for sure.
Hell yeah.
All right, everybody, thank you guys for coming. I guess we'll be on the reserve floor for just a little while longer, so get your last autographs and pictures before they got to go back and entertain you guys. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Dude.
Done with that.